knowledge being spread. It's like warm butter across the bread. Smooth, I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Marty McFly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig the dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Doni Jones, she the one you wanna see. Doni Jones live, this is where you wanna be. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live.
Hey, welcome to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni, the tree lady, hanging out.
With that guy, Marty McFly, trying to make it do what it do in the kitchen with no food.
How are you going to say you were in the kitchen with no food?
Yeah, because it ain't...
Literally.
Well, they gave me some leftovers. I ain't mad. But hello, Miss Doni, and how are you doing?
I am doing good now that we're on the other side of this interesting morning that we've had, which has been a good thing, you know?
I've had a whole interesting week, because I told you I got in the doghouse.
Yes, you did. We got to talk about that.
Yeah. I'm learning, with all this technology, sometimes you need to kind of clear out some of your old contacts and the things that you used to call people back in the day.
Yes.
And I spent the whole day yesterday, actually, going through all of my previous contacts, cleaning up names.
Yes.
And see and for y'all that are listening right now, see, I'll tell you the whole story, because
I think they need to hear the whole story.
And I'll be honest.
Wait a minute, time out. Are you sure you're going to be able to tell them the whole story?
I'm going to be able to tell them.
Because there's a word in there.
No. I'm going to be able to tell them.
Okay, you tell them.
A proper way. But anyway, so what had happened was, I have one of these cars that, it's a Kia, whatever, that when you get in, your phone syncs up to the radio and everything, and it syncs up your contacts.
And the Bluetooth comes on and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So me and my wife was going out the other day. And I'm, feeling nice. I'm trying to spend more time with her and everything. But I got in the car, and for some reason, it started syncing up automatically.
Yeah.
But it pulled up my contacts.
Yeah.
And my contacts, I kind of make a reference like, what is this phone doing?
Yeah.
And I kind of gave her, she started looking at the screen and everything.
Yeah.
So the screen came up and said, that Mickey, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, I'm going to be more specific. It said that B word.
I wasn't going to say that.
Which is the name of a female dog.
But see, you had to go there. I was trying to be,
I know you were, but I think that makes the story even better.
For you.
Okay,
not for me. Because see, anyway,
Go ahead, finish.
Yeah. So, that bleepity bleep bleep. That was on my contact. And my wife wanted to know, well,
who was that bleepity bleep?
Who was that bleepity bleep? And I'm like, baby, don't worry about that. Because I really don't know actually who in the world that I called that so many years ago, because that's not something that I try to practice now. Anyway.
Right.
So with me trying to cut the phone off and get it off the screen, it started dialing that
B word. Bleep, 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 bleep.
So I'm reaching to kind of stop it, and she's like, no, who is this? Who is this? And I don't know why she want to know who.
You know why she want to know.
Who is this? And then her phone starts ringing. Yeah, and it was a phone call from me.
From your phone.
Yeah.
With the screen name that.
But on my phone it said my queen, my wife.
So that you guys understand, on the phone it actually said his wife's name or my wife.
Yes, my wife.
But because it has synced with
the
old
car sync, the Bluetooth thing, it pulls up old, and I have no clue when, where. Because now, granted, me and my wife.
But do you remember saving it like that?
No. And that's the thing. Me and my wife, we've been married 16 years. We've had some years that we've had recess. That is like you go on your side of town.
You had a little separation.
Right. And sometimes that name was
used, right?
Because it was fitting.
But keeping in mind, that was a long time ago.
That was a very, very long time ago. And most likely, it was one of those late night things that I got upset. And, sometimes you had communion and you like, forget this, I'm just going.
Right.
Every time I'm going to just change the name like that.
Right.
So here's a note to all the brothers out there, or anybody.
Or sisters.
Sisters, go through your contacts, and if because a lot of times.
But but you got to be more specific. It's not just your contact. What happens is you've got multiple contacts in Google.
Yeah,
like if you've saved your phone or you've changed your phone or upgraded your SIM card, it'll save it under the same profile.
Yeah.
But you'll have multiple contacts under the same number.
And then, but see, even with people that I've met in college.
Yeah.
You know, what I called you in college, Dad,
Yeah.
Quan or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my phone now. I'm like, okay, now I've been out of college. I need to change this name to something proper.
Did they have cell phones when you was in college?
Yes, Donnie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I got my first cell phone when I was in college. But yes, they did have cell phones when I was in.
I forget you much younger than I am.
Yeah. But, but for note to self, because I've put people's name in there that's like old girl. Because I forget her name, but I just know.
Old lady, old girl,
lady,
yeah.
Yeah. But it never feels good like if they're around you and they call looking for the phone or something and it comes up old late. So I'm just saying, go through your phone and check out the context.
Absolutely.
Clean out the context.
But also, how about we just not use those words to describe people?
Well,
can we just not do that?
Well,
yeah.
The Christian side of me would say, you're right. But the real person, I'm like, because
considering I'm a spiritual person.
This is sometimes I need to put your name, I need to put the place or something that I know you from.
Yeah, but that's different than calling somebody the bleepy the bleep. That's different.
Well, that's a personal thing. That was something personal. That was personal.
You know what's so funny? For those of you that are
yes,
because we're just recording mostly the audio, but we are going to capture some of this, I believe, and throw it up on YouTube. But I'm stirring a pot of bison stew while we do this.
I don't know what she's stirring over there, but it's been a pot that's been cooking, boiling. Something tried to jump out and got back in.
That is
and
not
I don't
true.
know what it is. She went online 3 times trying to cook this soup.
No, I've got it going now. Okay, I did. You're right, I did. But that's because
I got video of that.
No, I do. Okay, I did go online because I've saved the recipe on my phone, and I want to make sure I'm doing things the way they're supposed to be doing. So that's what.
I thought you went online to try to figure out how to open up that bottle or something.
Okay, I went online. No.
Because you asked somebody, can you help me?
I asked Gina. Okay.
I'm just making sure you're keeping it honest.
You're so funny. But I do want to I'm glad you threw that up there because I do want people to kind of catch me online. Of course, catch Doni Jones live, but I'm starting something with my friend Gina.
Yeah.
Because we talk a lot of times about race issues, gender issues, politics, society. So she and I are going to start having some of those real organic conversations that we have. It's going
to be like an underground conversation that I can't get it. I can't be a part of because some of those.
I think some of those will be kind of interesting.
No, some of those. See, certain conversations, certain topics, you can't have because it started getting up under skin, and it's like I can't.
Well, what's funny is I could see your face. I could see your face because Marty's also a producer, you know. So anything that we do, he's the man making it happen, right? So he's got to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. The guests are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then of course being an amazing partner, but. I can see his face when I say something that it just completely rubbed him the wrong way. And so,
Certain things. It's interesting. It's when doing production, because I've been doing this for many years, and sometimes I'm in a situation while I'm recording someone that my job is to record what you're saying, your content.
Yeah.
I don't have to have an opinion, and I shouldn't have an opinion about what you're saying.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't. Right. I don't hear what you're saying.
Well, speaking of opinions.
But what y'all were saying earlier today, actually, I didn't have any real issues about that. But sometimes you can get into some not you, but I could be in some environments that is just like, you know what? God don't like you.
God don't like you.
But I can't just say that.
But on a serious note, to kind of hone things is, what are we going to talk about today? Because we have gotten into some hot water a little bit, or I've gotten into a little bit of hot water with my words and these today. So what's on your mind, man?
Hot water. Well, today I kind of want to ask about, see if I talk about it. Well, you know what? I'll do it like this. In business, you go through different quarters. Yeah. Okay. And now we're going into another quarter. The fourth quarter. What are some of the plans for you? Right. In this fourth quarter, because like Doni Jones Live, there's some things I want to do this quarter for us. Right. Absolutely. I want to do a concert. Here in Atlanta to invite some people out and do some. Give back to the community. Yeah. Does Don's Tree Service do anything like that? Like quarterly to say we want to give back to the community. And this fall, are y'all doing anything to give back to the community this year?
Well, we do try to give back to the community.
And if you're not, don't be a politician.
No, because I'm definitely not going to be a politician. But what I will say is that, we do have situations where we find out that somebody is needy, or may they be in a situation where they might be struggling. And as a company, we will try to go above and beyond to help, or might do. And I don't like to advertise that we've done free tree work or whatever.
No, but not advertising free tree work. But if there is someone,
but if we've had that.
But in a sense, if there was a story. Because, I remember you, Don's Tree Service, doing this not too long ago.
Yeah.
But if there's a story of a family or a situation that they need help, like a tree has fallen to the property and they don't have insurance, or, that is something that people may be right. And if the story actually lines up, and then we fact check. So don't.
Yeah, we always,
you got to fact check. You know.
I do know.
Yeah.
I do know.
So, but that would be something that you would be willing to.
Of course, I'd be willing to.
Okay, so y'all heard it here. Call this station, or actually call us.
Yeah, call us. 1-888-349-DONNIE. That's 1-888-349-DONI. Doni Jones Live.
And pretty much tell us the story of the situation, and let's see how we can help.
That's right. See how we can help.
Tree in a bad neighborhood just might be on a playground, or might be a senior citizen that just needs some help. Now we take away the tree and we clean up the debris, but we ain't gonna fix your house.
Clean it up. There you go. That ain't what we do. But it brings to mind, which I'm glad you brought that up, is giving back.
Yeah.
A lot of times, especially going through this journey of business and stuff like that, we forget our greatest joy comes from giving back. Giving back to our loved ones, giving back to our community, giving back to, our church, our society, even though I'm not really in a church right now. But I do support, I'm in your church.
If anything, support schools, education, things of higher learning and everything, because you will support stuff like that, wouldn't you?
I will support some stuff like that.
You know what, speaking of which, I got a concert coming up in the fall, because Morris Brown, I'm always doing their, kickoff to the homecoming, and now that they got their accreditation.
Yes, they do. Yes. Shout out to Morris Brown.
Shout out to Morris Brown.
The accreditation.
We are looking for sponsors to do this concert, but we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that also.
No, but honestly, I think with everything that you do, giving back is one of the things that actually advance you more.
Yeah,
I don't know, you're not a biblical person or a Bible person, but that's a big underlying line in the Bible of just saying, give and it will be given unto you.
That's right. But I don't think people really understand that concept, and so we can actually talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah. Because I think it's everything with business. I think it's everything with people that you see that are successful, really successful.
Yeah.
They gave back or gave service to other people in needs.
That's right.
And I think
I've got a statement that I like to say: you can never outgive God. Or depending on what circles I'm saying, you can never outgive the universe. Whatever you do does come back to you. And it usually comes back to you in abundance. If you put out bad, it's going to come back to you in abundance. If you put out good, it's going to come back to you in abundance. And so I kind of want to talk about that in our next segment, about the importance of giving back, and also how that brings you joy and how it can bring you more fulfillment in life. But you guys, you're checking out Doni Jones Live. I am Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly, trying to get some kind of food. She got a rat burger soup.
All right.
Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, the rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree Service.
If the trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one falls on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
Question. Have you ever thought about where you're at in the Bible? You know, the Bible is broken down in different parts. You got the Old Testament, the prophets, you got the Gospels, and then you have the letters from Paul. Where are you at in the Bible? You know, are you in the garden where you're still trying to figure life out? Or do you feel like you're in that 400 years of silence, not hearing from God at all? Where are you at in the Bible? I'd love to talk about it with you at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Yep, this Sunday at 11 a.m. We are in person, and I would love to worship with you. And we start at 11 a.m. We're located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia. Now, if you're not in the Atlanta area, you can always log on to stmarklutheranchurch.org and be a part of any of our online services. That's stmarklutheranchurch.org.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Hey, welcome back to Doni Jones Live.
Yes, I am that guy, Marty McFly, hanging out with Doni Jones. Now, the concept that we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, it's a good one because I really do believe that people should hear this and understand it.
Yeah.
Give and it will be given back to you. All
That's
right? You know, now people will say, well, they thought what the church keeps saying, give the
Right.
money to the church. And it's not so much of saying, you know, you give, you know, because you want to get a blessing or something like
Right.
that. But if you donate not just to the church, or if you just donate to your, I don't know, Goodwill.
Right.
You know, donate
donate to where I believe your heart is leading you to donate.
In a sense, push it forward.
That's
the
right.
love, push
pay
it forward.
Yeah,
pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Yeah.
Right. And I believe that once you pay it forward, it comes back to
really
you
does.
tenfold. Yeah. You know, if I give somebody like on the street, and I don't do it all the time, so don't quote me.
Y'all see him in the street, ask him for $1, he'll give it to you.
Not all the time. You know, and you got to be creative with it. You know.
Yeah.
But honestly though, I feel every time I give $1, I usually end up getting maybe $2 or $3 somehow.
Absolutely. It comes back.
Comes back. Yeah. And I think that everything that you do in life, in a sense, if you give your time to a young individual, that I believe pays back to you. You know, tenfold. Now you might not see how or which way, but that comes back.
But I think that's where people get caught up with the giving thing. And you guys obviously, you know, a lot of stations that we're on are faith-based stations, but we're not just talking about, like you said, the church. We're talking about just in general. And the reason why I guess I wanted to chat with you about this a little bit is because it's like a lot of people seem thirsty right now, whether it's thirsty for love, thirsty for energy, thirsty for a relationship, thirsty for goodness, a promotion, whatever it is. But it's like, you know, whatever you put out, you get back. So if you want love, give love.
Right.
If you want to get a better position in your job, act better in the position that you're in right now. Do your best in the position that you're in right now so that your job will give back to you. And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, that doesn't happen. No matter how hard I work, it doesn't get better. But here's what people need to understand. Your blessing may not necessarily come from the position that you're in. You just set yourself up to be seen by other people that may turn around and then bless you because they see what you're doing in a position that you're in.
They told me a long time ago, you never get paid what you're worth at the job that you're at. You know, because they're going to see you in one way.
Right.
But you have to position yourself and set yourself up to look for the next opportunity, the next job, but then do the best that you can on that job, to try to, don't come in late complaining. Trying to leave early, complaining, and then say, "Well, they're never going to give me a promotion."
Right.
Because no, you're not going to get it.
That's right.
With that, I don't want to shift, but it leads me into a thing of just, in a sense, being prepared.
Yeah.
And really going out and trying to get it, or being prepared for the opportunity.
But I think that kind of, even though it seems like you're shifting gears, you're really not, because that's part of giving, is setting yourself up and being prepared to receive whatever it is you want.
That is true. Yeah.
By putting yourself in position, by being your best, by doing your best, by sowing into other people's lives, whether it's your time, your energy, or your talent,
right,
or your money. It's something supernatural that happens. And I guess the reason why I'm harping on this is because I was in I don't want to bring her into this because I don't want it to be weird. But anyway, I was in a situation where I really felt like I wasn't being heard.
Okay.
And so literally the Holy Spirit spoke to me clear as day. You feel like you're not being heard, but are you listening to her?
Ah.
And I was like, damn, when was the last time I asked her, how is she feeling? What's bothering her? How does she feel about our communication? How does she feel about, the way our friendship, our relationship has been? And I thought about it. I was like, I didn't ask because I was worried about me.
Yeah.
So it took some energy and it took a little vulnerability on my part, but I reached out to this person and I said, listen, I don't know what's going on right now, but I want you to know that I want to hear whatever it is you feel right now. I want to listen to you. I want you to tell me what's going on.
Yeah. When you...
And they said the same thing. They said, well, I just feel like you don't listen to me. I feel like I'm not heard. And I was like, wow. So we're both in this friendship or relationship feeling like we're not heard. And this is somebody I've known her whole life. And so I said, that whole putting out what you want, it works in relationships too. You want love, give love. You want to be listened to, start listening to people. You want somebody to hug you, why don't you go hug somebody?
What's that big saying? Doing to others as you want others to do
other
it to you?
Other stuff too. I mean, you want, other stuff, you need to give some other stuff. So I'm just saying.
We on a Christian station, Doni.
I'm just saying, but it works in all areas of your life.
I will co-sign on that. It
really
does.
But even as a small business person, you want to help your small business.
Well,
that's a bad segue. I'm not saying that as a business. I'm talking about Marty. You go ahead, because I'm messing this up.
Even with your entrepreneur stuff, you want to make sure that you're doing above and beyond of not just being your client, but you want to, in a sense, make people friends, or I apologize. Doni just got me all off on that because I know where she was going at, but
okay,
but it's kind of like what it goes back to what I just said, doing to others as you want others to do unto you.
Yeah.
It's so true that if you show that love, even if your business, if you know that you can give somebody a discount, if you know you can help them out, do it.
Do it. That's right.
I am. Something's in this water. But it's funny. This friend of mine, well, not even a friend of mine. He's a guy that does my lawn service.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm listening.
And I needed to remove some garbage, some trash that was in my yard and everything. And he removes trash. And I called him up and said, "Hey, I got some stuff I need you to move. What's the quick, price or whatever?" And I think he just said, $100 or whatever.
Right.
Which is cool, fine, no problem. But then he gets over and all of a sudden starts to add extra, that's going to be extra $20. That's another box I didn't know about. But that's another $25. And this is a garage, and me and you've been friends for a while. And it's kind of like, wait a minute. Now I feel like you're getting over on me in business because I wouldn't have done you like this.
Absolutely.
And as a friend, I'm kind of like.
And you asked him up front.
Right. I asked him up front. He gave me a price. And I'm like, at this point, I'm also saying, where do you take this stuff to anyway? Because I don't know where the dump is at. I've been looking, and he wouldn't tell me. And it's sad because if he had have told me, shared with me, and was reasonable about, dude, this is an extra little box. Don't even worry about that.
Right.
Just throw it on there. he would have had my business.
That's right.
My lawn service business for the next couple of seasons.
That's right.
But because now I feel like I'm someone that you just want money from.
That's right. That's right.
And you're going to try to get over on me.
Yeah.
And you won't help me.
Yeah.
You know, in a sense, you won't teach me how to fish. You just want to give me a fish.
That's right. Well, it's going back to this vegetarian place.
Right. So it turns around for me.
Yeah.
What you've done to me, now just cut you off.
That's right.
Because I wanted to give you more business.
That's right.
Tell you about my other friends that need help. But now, because of your greed, in a sense, doing unto others would have helped you. But
That's
you
right.
was about to say.
No, what I was going to say is that I went to a vegetarian restaurant. And I've been to this place several times, but I haven't been probably in about 5 or 6 months. And I went out of my way to go to her restaurant. Because I wanted to support her business. Well, her business model has changed.
Okay.
And you can no longer sit down in there. Even though COVID we're in a different place. She liked the fact that most people did the online ordering. And so she closed her in-dining situation.
Oh, wow.
Well, people like me that I'm out and about all the time, I want to go into a place and sit down, right? So, but I still wanted to support her. So I go in, I order my food, and there was a little table outside where just a few people could sit down and eat. So I sat down there and I realized that the little sriracha sauces that she normally put with the tacos, this little salsa thing.
Okay.
There was only one in there, and I had 3 tacos. So I said, I went back in. I was like, "Hey, can I get some more sauce?" And she's like, "Yeah, that'd be 50 cents."
Oh, I hate when they.
You don't have
I hate when they do that.
Have indoor dining anymore. You don't have no water cups anymore. No water cups. So no water cups. Get this, can't go to the bathroom no more. So I want to wash my hands before I sit down and eat. So I wind up going down to the barber shop up the street from her, and he let me use the bathroom. And he was like, let me guess, she wouldn't let you use the bathroom? I was like, yeah, she said they don't have a public restroom anymore. He's like, yeah, she don't like people. I was like, wow. I was like, well, this is probably gonna be the last time I go there.
Yeah, what restaurant is this?
I'm not gonna put it, because I don't want the sister to go out of business.
No, I don't want her to go out of business.
She is gonna go out of business.
I just want to know where not to go to.
I'll tell you off camera.
What can you give me a hint on camera? See, I got people that might go over there too, and here's sometimes people need to know.
People do, and I'm tempted because that's how much it irritated me. But I'm like, you go from, having a viable, healthy business in the community where people can come in, and it's a beautiful spot. People come in, enjoy the ambiance, and then she had a cook that worked back there. He was a really heavy-set guy, but he was so pleasant and funny. Like he was just kind of a really pleasant guy. So you go in there, you order your food, and he might come back out and say a few things, and it was just a really good energy. You can't see him now because she's cut off the front. She's cut off the front of the restaurant and has a little order station right up close to the front door. So you can't even walk all the way in the restaurant anymore.
See that?
Nothing.
That, you're shooting yourself in the foot so much. Now, granted, I do understand there's always 2 sides of the story.
There is,
and then
I respect that.
And right now I'm getting irritated with Taco Bell and some of the other fast food restaurants because they don't have people in there just working. And it's taking me forever to get my food.
And maybe that was the situation, but I will say that the gentleman at the barbershop was like, man, I will never step foot in that place again. Yeah. He's like, she doesn't like people.
Yeah. But see, certain things, like you said, if I come to your restaurant and I can't use your restroom.
I can't use the bathroom.
I can't
wash my hands. You don't get water out anymore.
Right, and I hate the extra 50 cents for the sauce.
Exactly.
Come on.
No, I'm good.
I just spent how much on the, But you live and learn. You got something in this kitchen.
I know. It's like it keeps ticking.
Yeah, we're broadcasting live today from Donnie's kitchen.
Yes, exactly.
Where she's trying to cook some.
I made a stew. I made a bison stew.
A bison stew.
Which means you now know I am eating meat again. I've been all over the place on this journey with you. It's like you've seen me go through my vegetarian phase, my...
it means you're natural. You have seasons.
I'm trying. I have seasons. That's
right. Certain seasons I eat Taco Bell. Certain seasons I only eat McDonald's. Certain seasons. So
that Taco Bell, that's not healthy for you though.
Donnie,
I'm just saying.
I wasn't saying not to talk about healthy eating, or I just said in different seasons.
Gotcha.
Right. I'm saying, right, one season you eating healthy, the next season you just eating.
Yeah.
So it's seasons.
Well, this is
and
the season where we need to take a break.
Right. I'm about to take me a seasonal restroom break. Anyway.
Okay. But you're listening to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni the Tree Lady.
Yep.
And I also own a tree service here in Atlanta, Don's Tree Service. So if you ever need some tree work, 770-413-8733. And then also reach out to Marty for Bass Productions.
Bass Productions. It's a production company here in Atlanta, Georgia. But you know, with production, we can do production pretty much anywhere. But give us a call, hit the show up, and we gotta go to break. So we'll be right back.
Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
When it falls, there's only one tree company to call. That's Don's Tree Service. Call them at 770-413-TREE. That's 770-413-8733.
Had looked out the window after the storm and found out that there was a tree that had fallen. So I needed somebody quickly. Made one phone call. The appointment was made. They got the tree down. They do full service cleanup so that it looked like nothing had been done at all. Don's Tree Service did an awesome job for me, and I would recommend them highly.
Hey guys, I'm Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. We are an Atlanta-based tree service serving all of Metro Atlanta. And you know what? We proudly serve the underserved. And not only that, when we cut down your trees, we don't charge extra for cleaning up. So give us a call at 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. You are listening to me and
that guy, Marty McFly, that I should have got some more water before we came back.
I can get you water.
Please,
yes, I can definitely get you water.
You know, but I know it ain't gonna be.
That means if they're watching on YouTube, they'll see me not out of camera.
Yeah, but you know, if they was really watching, they could realize, you know, Doni is one of the few. She has one of the few kitchens that it baffles me. It really does baffle me because everything I'm saying she has this wonderful big plantation of a house and yard and everything is going on. But she doesn't have ice in her house.
That is not true anymore.
Oh, that's right.
That's not true anymore. I got one of those
old school.
Yeah, ice
throwback.
What do they call it again?
Ice tray.
Ice tray. I got an ice tray.
Somebody brought that to her daughter's school for show and tell, and they thought it was a good idea for them to use it in the house. But I'm amazed that y'all don't use ice here, do you?
But we talked about this on another show. I just don't. We're not an ice family. We're just not. It's just not our thing.
No ice. No nothing cool. No.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't. Do you have chicken in your refrigerator?
We do have chicken in our refrigerator,
okay,
but I am eating less chicken. I will say that. I am eating less chicken. But I want to. You know, I always want to be of value to the people. What's going on today that we could talk about that has been on your mind? That would be of value to our listeners, because you know we try to bring it every week.
You know, Doni, there's a lot of things on my mind.
Yeah.
But there's only a few things that I can really talk about. You know, and I feel like that. You know, because one of the things for me, being honest, this week is our youth and a lot of times our young boys that are getting into relationships or friendships with kids that are not good for them.
Yeah.
I've been monitoring this family for a couple of years in a sense that was close to me. The young man, the son in the family was, well, I should take it like this. The mother was one of those mothers that doesn't know how to raise her son.
Yeah.
Or kids that they believe, well, I don't want to scold him. I want him to be a boy.
Yeah.
You know, I want him to be, and the young man was growing up in sports and everything and great in, you know, football, basketball, popular. And then all of a sudden he got hooked up with some wrong friends. And no more interest in football, smoking weed now, dropped off to basketball team.
Yeah.
And the couple of weeks ago I heard he snuck out of his parents' house in the middle of the night went to a park and
please don't tell me something.
Well, one of his friends got killed. Going around playing with guns again. You know, and this was his best friend, and now it's a thing where how do you reprogram someone to say, you know, some of these things that we see on TV that now these are your role models, you know, that you say, okay, I don't want to be the footballer, the athlete. I want to be that thug guy. I
want to be the Thug Nation.
And I want to be Thug Nation. And now it's, how do I get initiated into this gang? Let me jump on somebody. Let me fight somebody. Let me beat somebody down.
Right.
For me, that's my new, I guess that's been on my radar for the last couple of weeks.
And I don't know if it's not popular to talk about this, but since this is what we do.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was saying nowadays it just seems like people don't want to be parents. Or they may not know how to be parents. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the thing. Because I remember, and for those of you that have listened to the show for a while, you know that there's been ups and downs in my family, me growing up. But one thing my parents did was they were really funny about the people that I was allowed to hang out with. And keep in mind that I said allowed. I wasn't allowed to hang out with just anybody. I remember I brought a girl, you know how, okay, I was popular in school, but I would not say I was the most popular. So I still kind of wanted to be cooler or be with the cooler kids. And so there was this one girl that was really, really popular in school. I didn't understand why she was popular. But anyway, she was really, really popular in school. You know, she always had the latest fashions. You know, she was a little sassy or whatever. And I didn't know her reputation. I knew she was cool, right? So she and I somehow struck up a friendship, right? And she was like, hey, you want to go to the mall? So I'm like, cool, you know, we go to the mall, right? So she drove and we went back to my house because I was coming, she picked me up from school.
Right.
Going back to, or I rode home with her in school, came back to my house to change. And so I come through the door, she comes through the door. And my mom is laying on the couch. My mom has never seen this girl, met this girl. At least I didn't think she had, right? So my mom goes, where are you going? I was like, oh, I'm going to change it. We're going to the mall. And she goes, you ain't going nowhere with that. Actually, she said that tramp, like that.
Oh, wow.
I was like, and this is the girlfriend that I'm like, oh my God, you know, in my mind, we're going to be friends.
She was standing right there. Like,
yeah, standing right there. So.
That's raw.
And here's what's crazy though. My mom came straight from the streets. And I guess this girl had an understanding, like street knows streets, right? So I'm like devastated because I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to be cool, you know? So I'm standing there like, you know? And she goes, you ain't going nowhere with her. And the girl looks at my mother, and my mother looks at the girl, and she just turned and walked out the house and drove off. And it was like, I guess she recognized that my mom recognized something in her that she didn't want me to. And my mom said, you don't hang out with women. Well, she didn't say women. My mom used the other word. She goes, I ain't raising you to be no.
Well, maybe
you know,
your mama and that girl knew each other from some other thing that
No, she was a high school student.
That don't mean nothing. And I'm saying your mother knew some kind of.
Yeah, she just was
She knew something that you might not have.
Yeah, well, clearly she knew something. Yeah. She saw something in a girl or knew something about the girl that was like, my daughter ain't gonna hang out with her. So I was not allowed to hang out with her.
Yeah. No, I can understand that.
And so.
My parents were the same way. Well, I hate to say it like this. My parents got worse when they got religious. And I don't know if I like that.
See, well, mine wasn't even religious. Well, my dad was religious. Yeah, he was Islamic, but my mom just kind of went along. Mine didn't let me hang out with other people, but it wasn't for the right reasons, I would say. Okay. You know, and I can understand that there is a different time, and their concern at the time was a little different. Yeah. You know, and they weren't this. I hate because I get wrong with my parents. It's like they weren't the smartest people all the time. But dude. And that's all I can really say. I can't sugarcoat it. They weren't the smartest. So like when I was younger, I could spend a night with my cousins and all that kind of stuff. But then I got
my parents got into church.
Yeah.
My mother, got married, and they became the pastor and the pastor's wife and everything. And they wouldn't let me go and spend the night over any of my friends' house, period. Because they felt that, well, if you did that, you might be gay. You might turn gay.
Why would you turn gay just because you were spending?
Like I said, they weren't the brightest people during that time.
Was the friend house you wanted to go over?
No, none of my friends, none of them, at that time, and none of them that I know now, none of them turned out to be, gay or anything like that.
She does realize you can't make somebody gay, right?
They didn't know that.
Right. Okay. Got it.
That's what I'm saying. A different time, a different mentality.
People are just born how they're born.
They're born how they're born, But
I do feel like there is a infiltration of too much content that is inappropriate for kids that is specifically led by the LGBTQ plus community. I feel like there's too much inundation now than there was, but that's a whole nother subject.
You know what? That's an interesting argument that I wouldn't be afraid to get into, but it's one of those fine lines to talk about.
Hot topics, yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of like this. Can anybody say that, well, that's too much blackness that's going on there, and I don't want my kids to see too much of that blackness.
Let's flip the script then. Okay.
And I'm,
Okay, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like there's too much. I'm a pro-gun person, but I feel like there's too much gun culture, right?
Okay.
I believe in dancing and art and having a good time, but I also feel like there's too much ratchetness going on. Girls walking around with their butts out, you know what I'm saying? BBLs and just ratchet behavior. I feel like there's too much of that.
Right.
I feel like in the black community, there's too much focus on race as opposed to personal accountability.
I can agree with that.
So in the white community, I feel like there's too much, we're a victim of diversity when, whatever. So there's a little bit too much in many different areas.
Many different areas,
but
right.
There's literally, I'm trying not to go there. There's literally no need for you to be talking to a third grader about gender issues, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's the parent's job. First to third, I'm thinking about that thing in Florida, but just in general, kids, just let kids be kids, and you accept kids however they are, gay, straight, bi, whatever. You just accept them. But I don't need a teacher going into details about all these other different things because I want my kids focusing on their schoolwork. I don't remember ever having that conversation, not one time as a kid having that conversation. First, second, third, kindergarten, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever it was. We didn't have those conversations. People are people. And I'm Gen X. You know?
It's kind of like this. I can see both sides of that argument because one side is saying, yeah, don't talk about it. But then the other side is when do you talk about it? When do you start communicating and saying, this is a boy dog, this is a girl dog,
Well, you learn
and you start learning it that it's not foreign to you because we didn't talk about it when I was growing up.
Right.
But the little boy that's getting beat up down the hallway.
Right.
And I think the reason he's getting beat up because he said, hey.
Right.
But if I had been
right.
That's not right. And if I had been taught that at an earlier age that, hey, these are different people.
Right.
But they're all
that's
right.
the kind of thing we need to learn.
Yes.
That these are different people.
Right.
But we're all the same in humanity, and we need to love
now,
one another.
If you said,
nothing wrong with that.
Right. Now, if you
but
said,
we don't need people. We don't need 3rd and 4th graders going to a reading where they're putting dollar bills in drag queens.
Wait, what school did y'all go to?
I didn't do that.
Dollar bills and drag queens at 3rd grade?
Yes, there are schools right now, they call it drag queen reading or reading with the drag queens. And I am a strong supporter. And before we get letters and emails, I am a strong supporter.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if that got better for me or worse because I was thinking
I am a strong supporter of the LGBTQ plus community, but there also needs to be some common sense behavior within that community. Just like I am a strong supporter of the black community, but we need to talk about some personal responsibilities.
Yes.
So I'm in an interracial marriage. So there also needs to be talk about not everybody's a victim of racism. Sometimes it's just how you behave, how you act.
How you behave, how you act.
And so with that, I just think sometimes it's a little bit much.
I think everything could be just a little bit too much because I don't want to see two men on TV in the broad daylight just doing tongue kissing. Yeah, that's not now at the same
But I
time.
also don't want to see two straight people do it in the middle of broad daylight.
It's not my shtick. But anyway, let's take a quick break.
You're listening to Doni Jones Live.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly, with Doni Jones, and we'll be right back.
Yes.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, the rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree Service.
If the trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one falls on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE. Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.donijoneslive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live, where you are listening to me, Doni the Tree Lady.
And me, that guy, Marty McFly. You know, Doni, that was a good, interesting conversation.
Yeah.
You know, that I think we do need to kind of talk about when it's too much.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, I love being black, and I love, you know, my
being black too.
African American people and just everything that they do. But sometimes it seems like it's just a little bit too
Okay,
black.
I wasn't going to talk about this on camera, but it just happened. So, and I want to hear what the listeners think. I was in, and by the way, our number is 1-888-349-DONI. That's 1-888-349-3664. I really do want you all's opinion about this. So, I took my team down to Destin.
Okay, your team, the
Don's Tree Service.
Okay.
And we rented some boats and went out on boats. And diverse community, predominantly white though. Especially, I mean, you're talking about boating, sea doing, out on the water, beach stuff, whatever. So everybody's, you know, you got your swimsuits, your bikinis, you know, people just like they would on the beach. And so there was a boat that was being returned that had predominantly us on it. In fact, it was all us.
Okay.
They get off the boat. All you can do is smell weed. The whole, like it was a big puff of weed, right? The girls getting off the boat were almost falling down drunk. They were, some of them, their butts were severely enhanced. Some of them had just naturally huge derrieres with completely inappropriate swimsuits on for Destin, which is more of a family destination in and of itself. In fact, one of the swimsuits, I wouldn't even consider it a swimsuit. It was like dental floss with a little piece of material. And I'm not joking, like seriously. It was a piece of dental floss with a little bit of material in the front and the whole bottom of the boobs hanging out. One girl had on a swimsuit that was 100% see-through. 100%
Or would you call that a
see-through.
swimsuit?
Exactly, right? So, and the dudes get off and you know, they like high as all get out. They're coming off the boat. All you could hear was cursing and end this and be this. And when they're having, you could clearly tell they having a good time.
A good time.
But that's how they're talking to each other. And other black people that were there that did not fit that description, that were just their family-oriented type, I caught their eyes and they caught my eyes, and we just looked at each other and just shook our head. Like, wow, this is why people don't want us to be in certain areas. I mean, and it just gets to be to where, when do we say a lot of these misconceptions about us comes from us? It's not them, it's us.
Oh yeah, but I'll say this too though,
Vulgar
Doni.
language.
I'll say this too.
Ratchet behavior.
That's just not in the black community.
I know it's not just in the black community.
But at the same time, I can hear you say we need to have more pride in ourselves.
Yes.
You know, that we don't, but some people don't know. Because see, we used to say this thing back in the day that people stopped liking it, of being born on the other side of the tracks.
Right.
You know, but in our society, sometimes some of us are on that other side of the tracks. That growing up, some people in my community, they loved having gold teeth. You know, that's what their family looked like. That's what their grandparents looked like. This is how their parents talk. This is how their grandparents talk.
So if nobody else at the beach looks like that or is acting like that, you don't think that's inappropriate?
It's sad because I'll bring things black and white at the same time as me and you look at them and against us. They're comfortable in their community. They're comfortable like that. Everywhere,
clearly.
Right, clearly. So it's kind of like this. If I'm being who I truly am, why do you want me to change to make you happy?
But it's not about, you gotta set the example for your kids.
So who are you
for
to set,
community,
so are you
for
saying,
environment.
So are you saying that the example of being a perfect person is being like you, and not even a perfect person?
No, I'm not even saying being like me.
Are you saying that the standard is you?
I'm saying the standard is put some clothes on and not use vulgar language in a family setting.
I understand that, but if this is how my family rolls.
Okay, I'm gonna take, okay.
But that's what I'm trying to, because I agree with you, and it's easy for me to sit up here and judge and say, you know what? Shouldn't nobody cuss? Everybody should go to church on Sunday. Right. And everybody should pray 5 times a day.
Well, not 5 times a day. That's
but see, no. But if that's how my family grew up,
this is a restaurant.
now I'm saying, all of y'all need to be like that.
Yeah,
that's
certain. But no, back in the day, we were expected to behave a certain way. Our parents told us, no, you don't go out in the streets looking like that, acting like that. Just like when my mom with that girl, she didn't want me with her because of the type of behavior. Now, as I got older, the following year, she dropped out of her senior year because she wound up getting pregnant.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so my mom didn't want to see me wind up being a teenage pregnant girl in that situation. You know, and that doesn't mean I haven't made mistakes. I have.
Right.
So,
and that doesn't mean that just because you're hanging out with this girl, you're going to get pregnant.
Exactly. That's true. But you become who you hang around. That's a law of nature.
There's interesting. There was a study that came out yesterday, actually earlier this week, saying that young African Americans do better when their friends are wealthy. When the people that they hang with are wealthy. When a little black boy hangs out with the white kid from Buckhead and they become good friends, the chances of him doing well, changing his life, is improved. This is a study. So at the same time, who would say that your influence with that little girl, she might not have gotten pregnant hanging with you?
That's true too. I didn't think about that. I don't think my mom thought about that.
No, they don't care about that. Let them go. Don't hang with them. But these are the same people that we get mad at when the other side of the people don't want to hang with us.
Right.
Because, did you see what he was wearing? He had on some bell bottoms. Well, you can't afford no blue jeans.
Right.
You know, but
okay, but then you've got situations like this.
I
went to a
locks
restaurant.
in their hair. Really?
And I got locks. So guess what? Because I have locks in my hair, sometimes there's a preconceived notion that I get high and smoke weed and stuff. I don't. I don't get high. I don't I don't do drugs and stuff like that. But because I have locks, people sometimes assume that. And so I may not like that they do that, but I don't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So that family that was getting off that boat,
clearly they don't care.
They probably said the same thing. Wait a minute, I'm on my vacation.
Okay, so going back to behavior, right? This is a restaurant that I've been to that's been in the community for probably 20 years, right? I have never once seen this sign, I guess maybe within the last 6 months to a year. This is the sign that they just put up at this business. Code of conduct and dress code. To ensure the comfortable experience for all of our guests and to meet our standard of service, this code of conduct and dress code will be strictly enforced. No clothing that is overly exposing, no shorts that are too short, no tank tops for men, no profanity, loud or vulgar language, and silence all electrical devices. Please refrain from using FaceTime and speakerphones. That is at one of the high-end restaurants here in Georgia now, here in Atlanta. And you know what another restaurant here in Atlanta now does?
What's that?
They charge, for you to make a reservation now, they make you pay $100 per person.
Yeah. See, that I'm okay with
just
those.
to make a reservation. And then they add a 20% tip. You know why? Because a lot of us will go into a restaurant, run up the bill, and then don't tip.
I don't mind them doing those rules for their business.
But we shouldn't have to.
Wait. Time out. We don't. They do. They want that because they want a specific certain people. They're saying, okay, we don't want you here.
Right.
So I'm not going there. That's okay.
You ain't got no ratchet clothes on.
I don't care if this is what your business represents.
Yeah.
I don't care about your business, period.
Right.
Because you're specifically saying you're targeting, I don't want these kind of people.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to be a Dear Jane restaurant or whatever, I don't support you. I'm not going there.
Okay.
That's you going all the way to the other side.
That will be the restaurant that I will go to because as a mother of of two daughters, I don't want my daughters seeing women dressed ratchetly.
But see, everywhere that you go is not like that. Every black person is not like that.
No, not at all.
So if you're going to target and try to say no black people,
that doesn't say no black people.
Well, if the understanding,
I'm black and I go there.
So what I'm saying is, I am not going to.
The lady next door to me,
here's the thing.
She's black and she goes there.
If I can go there, I can go there. But you don't like my cousin, and you ain't gonna support my cousin, and my cousin isn't appropriate to come in. I can't support you.
No, that is not true. Let me tell you why. You might not. Okay. Yeah. I used to take my kids
Denny's
to Main Event. They accept it all day long now.
Right.
Okay. I up on Cobb Parkway, and for those of you that know what I'm talking about, you can attest to this in Atlanta, Georgia. I used to take my kids there.
Right.
I will not take my kids there on the weekend because it smells like weed in the parking lot. Women are in there dressed ratchetly. There's all kind of foul language. You know what I'm saying? And then people acting crazy, dudes saying inappropriate stuff to teenage girls, as opposed to treating women respectfully.
Right.
I will not support a business that supports that type of behavior. So
those are I don't go to clubs.
Why won't you go to clubs? What's wrong with that?
That's not my clientele. That's not what I enjoy doing.
But they accept you.
Yeah, but I don't. Put it like this, Donnie.
You said they're as long as they accept our people, I'll go anywhere.
You try to be funny, but you're missing it.
No, I'm not.
I can go to a club. That's not my lifestyle. I don't have any enjoyment out of going to a club.
Right.
What I'm saying is this. As my sister, if Eric down the street says, because you're black, I'm not going to support your tree service.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
What I'm saying is, I'm not going to give Eric my business. He is deliberately, in a sense,
I don't think they care if you're white or black, but that dress code applies to everybody.
Right. That dress code applies to everyone, and it's funny because, and I wasn't on this side of the fence with him, but remember the same dress code, and they was like, wait a minute, Dominic Wilkins can't go into a restaurant because he had on some.
That was right up the street from here.
Yeah. but everybody was like, something was wrong. Who did they say was wrong? And the thing is,
you know, we need to continue this conversation.
Yeah, because it's a
cultural
thing.
In fact, I think that we should make a note and talk about this next week. So that means you need to check into Doni Jones Live next week.
Yes.
You're listening to Doni Jones Live. I'm Doni the Tree Lady.
I am Marty McFly, that guy. But if you got a comment on this, hit us up. 1-866-349.
Oh, that's right. 1-866-349-DONI. I've been saying the wrong number, haven't I?